Hello and welcome to the Virtual Racing League's Las Vegas 125 here tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, race number 1 of the playoffs. The drivers are out here on the track doing their practice laps, getting ready to go qualifying here in just a moment. And we are excited to bring you the action here on V-Speed. My name is Adam Baker. I will be your commentator here tonight, and we want to thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast and hope you enjoy the race tonight. Going to be a lot of fun here, a lot on the line for many of these drivers. Let's go through our point standings coming into tonight's race and see who has anything to lose and everything to gain here tonight as we come into tonight's event. Connor Horn comes in, your points leader, with a 16-point advantage from his 4 wins and many stage wins during the regular season. He has the biggest advantage of everyone here, and thank you, Marcus Emerson, for subscribing. Thank you so much, and good luck out there tonight. I thought you were on the track, maybe not, but thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you subscribing, and helps a lot. Thank you so much. Second place in points coming into tonight's race, Alec Martinez, your regular season champion. He gets a big boost from that regular season championship, and he'll come in second with just the 1 win, but 11 playoff points gives him a nice boost over the cut line. Yusuf Ghali there in third with a win as well. Elliott Butler with 1 win. AJ Stravato with a win as well. Jeff Wright coming in with a win. Adam Cabot had a shot at the championship, regular season championship, last week at Daytona, but was unable to capture it with some mistakes early on in the race. Jeremiah Vincent comes in 8th in points, just 1 point above the bottom 4, being Vincent Arthur, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Eric Hutton, and Dylan Parker. All those drivers are in contention for the championship and trying to move on to round number 2 in the playoffs, as they are now headed to qualifying here. We're going to bring up our qualifying ticker so you can take a look at where these guys are on track. We'll go on board with Dylan Parker here as he looks like he's getting ready, maybe going to take it back to the pits. Yusuf Ghali now taking it out onto the racetrack, the 54 TRD machine. We did not see him last week at Daytona, but he is back on the track tonight. And speaking of the track here tonight at Las Vegas, it's going to be a 125 lap race here at the 1.5 mile racetrack, which is Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A very fun track to run. You can run a lot of different grooves around this speedway. Eventually, I think the preferred lane will become the high lane, but being such a late race in the day, I'm not sure where the grip's going to be. As we see Yusuf now going around the speedway, kind of runs that middle line through 1 and 2. And looks like he is about a half lane up off the white line going through 3 and 4 here, so that may be the preferred way to go. Let's see what kind of lap time he gets here on lap number 1. He will go to the top of the board with a 30.138. That's a whole 0.2 faster than the number 70 machine of Lyle Sulfridge. Third place. Actually, the 71 is Lane Sulfridge, so obviously some relatives in the field here tonight. Chris Samard now goes to the top with a 29.99. We'll see if Yusuf can top that. He gets a 9.82, just barely edging him out. So the 54 back to the top of the board as they trade those lap times. And we will have a stage here tonight. Lap number 40 is going to be stage number 1. It'll be at the completion of lap 40, so coming to lap 41. And that'll be very interesting to see these guys racing for playoff points, racing for stage points. And they need to get as many as they can here in race number 1 of the playoffs. A couple more playoff drivers on track. Jeremiah Vincent taking it around the speedway right now. Let's look at our track conditions here. 65-degree air temp, 67-degree track temp. So very cool. Going to be lots of grip for these guys. Should make for some very exciting side-by-side action throughout this race. And this is just our second race here with the Virtual Racing League, and last week was quite an event. A lot of exciting action there at that track. Not too many cautions, but it really came down to the end. It was very dramatic and very close photo finish at the end of the race. As we see Alec Martinez going to the top of the board and showing that regular season championship speed, as he is 3/1000ths faster than Jeff Wright. Vincent Arthur in the third position. All three of those have topped Youssef Ghali and Chris Samard, who round out the top 5 here with just over a minute left in the qualifying session. And those of you just tuning in, maybe watching in tandem with the All-Star race. That's a pretty exciting event so far here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Fans in attendance for the first time, or a lot of fans in attendance for the first time, really, since any of the coronavirus or COVID-19 has kind of shocked the world. And very cool to see these guys out there with the number placement where it is, the underglow on the back bumpers. Very, very interesting looking on those race cars, and definitely a departure from what we're used to seeing is Keith Maiato now bringing it across the line. He runs a 30.05. Not going to be the best lap. He'll qualify in 12th with that, as it looks like a few drivers have decided to not take a time, being Bailey Turner, Ryan Gemmel, and Connor Horn. So they will be starting from the rear here as we are getting closer and closer to going to the grid. Just a couple seconds and we'll be on the grid. Let's take a look here at where everyone is going to be starting tonight. Starting on the pole, Alec Martinez with the 29.955, a very quick race lap time, and he will capture the top spot. Jeff Wright going to be rolling off in the second position, running a 29.958, just 3/1000ths of a second off of the pole time. So congratulations to both of those drivers making up the front row. As we go to row number 2, it's going to be Vincent Arthur and Youssef Ghali in third and fourth positions. Thank you for the 5 bits, Marcus Emerson. Appreciate that. Thank you once again for tuning in. Row number 3 is going to be Chris Samard, the number 37 V-Speed machine, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin rolling off in the 6th position. Adam Cabot going to be starting in the 7th spot here tonight. Eric Hutton going to be starting in 8th position. Dylan Parker rolling off in 9th, and Mitchell Adams going to be rounding out the top 10 here at Las Vegas. Elliot Carlson going to be rolling off in 11th. Keith Maiato starting in the 12th position here tonight. 13th will be Elliot Butler. Jeremiah Vincent going to be starting in 14th position. AJ Stravato starting in 15th in the number 33 machine. Lyle Sulfridge starting in 16th position. 17th is going to be Lane Sulfridge, the number 71 machine, and Connor Horn, first of the drivers to not take a time, going to be rolling off in 18th position. Bailey Turner starting in looks like the 20th position, and Ryan Gemmel rolling off in 21st. And that's going to make up our field here tonight. And you will notice something on the drivers on track. You'll see that these cars in the playoffs have the VRL banner above the windshield, as well as the red rear spoiler. You can see it right there on Jeff Wright's machine. So these guys are going to be identifiable through that. You'll know they're in the playoffs through those banners and the color change on the spoiler, as we are getting ready to get rolling here. Pace car gets moving here, and the 18 machine gets them going. Maybe a problem for the rest of the field here. Now, oh, Alec actually took off before the pace truck got moving. That's what that was. But approaching the start here, going to be a very exciting race. And cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know who you're rooting for in tonight's race, and we'll see where they end up, and we'll track them throughout the race. You've got people cheering for Adam Cabot already. Lots of people cheering for Adam Cabot, the Magic Man, number 77. We'll see how he does here tonight. Didn't have the best luck last week, but was able to recover somewhat and earn a top 10 finish at Daytona, and pulled a little magic out of his hat there to come away with that. And we'll see how things go as we are approaching the green flag in the playoffs for the Virtual Racing League. Anticipation building for these drivers who have so much on the line, knowing that this is the start of where it really counts and their chance to win a championship. Alec Martinez, regular season champion, he's going to roll off first here tonight. Pace truck down the pit lane and waiting on that green flag as the field stacking up. Green flag in the air at Las Vegas. And we are underway here in the playoffs for the Virtual Racing League. Martinez right side by side going down into turn 1. Here comes the 5 of Vincent Arthur, leaving the 54 machine of Yusuf Ghali in the dust, as those top 3 now still hanging tough side by side. The 48 has lost ground to the leader. He's now battling it out for second with Vincent Arthur, as the 5 gets very sideways, able to hang on to it, but that's going to stack him up. Chris Samard gets stuck behind him as they both drop backwards here, and the field going to go 3 wide around them. Some drivers down on the apron, so dramatic start to this race as the field trying to figure it out. The 5 falls back in line, but drops from second to 8th position. And then Chris Samard, also a big loser on that deal. He's going to drop all the way back outside the top 10. It's out in front. Jeff Wright has taken the lead away from Alec Martinez and that 48 Lowe's machine. We're going to bring up our ticker so you can follow along with your favorite drivers. Right now it is Jeff Wright leading the 18 of Alec Martinez. Yusuf Ghali trying to track him down for the second position. And back here side by side, Taylor Butcher Benjamin to the outside of Vincent Arthur, who's trying to recover from that mistake. He's got to fight it out now for that 7th position. And here comes the 6 of Elliott Butler looking to the inside. A couple playoff drivers nose to tail there. The 49 of Mitchell Adams will drop in to the low line. He's going to go along with the 6. See if he can make a pass on Butcher Benjamin. He slips way up the track now. Going to lose a lot of ground. The 1 machine able to keep that spot and hang on to the 9th position. He looks low now on Elliott Butler. Not able to make that move work. And Jeff Wright streaking away, now over half a second ahead of Alec Martinez. Concern with this track, though, definitely is the tire wear. And you do not want to get too far out and burn your stuff up too early. These drivers behind you will track you down. As Alec Martinez looks like he might just be pacing himself with the 54 of Ghali right behind him. And Adam Cabot now moves up to the 4th position, the 77 Simply machine. Up inside the top 5, bringing the Chick-fil-A number 88 of Eric Hutton along with him. Side by side with Dylan Parker, Elliott Butler, and Vincent Arthur all in a pack there. Is now the 1 of Butcher Benjamin looks low. Parker way up the track. And everybody trying to chase down Jeff Wright here in these opening laps. Nobody able to track him down just yet, as the gap now opens up to 0.8 of a second. And everybody side by side in the field here. Great racing action already. As 3 wide for the 3rd position, the 77 of Cabot down low. Ghali in the middle, and Dylan Parker making that outside line work, carrying that momentum. He's going to take this spot away from both of those drivers, and down the backstretch, he's going to set his sights on the 18 of Alec Martinez. Now continuing to run that high side. He's found something up there already that's working for him as he gets to the outside of Martinez. And what a battle among these top drivers so far, as Parker going to take that spot away. Martinez just basically handed it over to him. And I would be concerned for Dylan that he might be using a little too much tire too early, just 8 laps into this race. As behind them, it is Martinez, Cabot, and Ghali, who are some of your top contenders in this series right now 3rd through 5th. The 5 machine of Vincent Arthur right there on the back bumper, giving the 54 a push down the straightaway. And this is crazy. 2 wide, 3 deep. And then we've got some more farther back. Keith Mayato out in front of Mitchell Adams, but Chris Samard, Taylor Butcher Benjamin side by side in the 12th and 13th positions. Looks like Butcher Benjamin struggling a little bit down low, maybe carrying a little too much speed too early, as now they go 3 wide. The 09 of Elliott Carlson up high. He's going to make that pass work. And a 24 machine of Bailey Turner down low, trying to make that pass as they go out of turn number 4. Looks like he has the run, and here comes the 33 to give him a little push down the straightaway. He's hanging out in the back here. Garrett Key, not sure what happened, but he is 26 seconds behind, maybe. Looks like he made a pit stop early on in this race. I'm not exactly sure, but Ryan Gemmel also well off the pace here. He is back a lap down. Not really sure what happened to these guys. Maybe they both made pit stops or had to start from the pit lane early on here. Other than that, Lane Sulfridge and Lyle Sulfridge, the 70 and the 71, as I saw some smoke there. Everybody seems to be carrying onwards. As Jeff Wright hanging on to that top spot, still streaking away. Dylan Parker just 8/10 back. Actually has maintained that gap. But that time by Adam Cabot, fastest on the track with a 30.947 as he works behind the 18 of Alec Martinez. Fan favorite here, Adam Cabot started in 7th. He's up 3 spots to the 4th position. Hanging tough up here. So it gets harder and harder when the tires wear to make those passes and stay right on the back bumper of the drivers in front of you. But doing a fantastic job so far, as we're about a quarter of the way, just past a quarter of the way through stage number 1. As he now looks to the inside of Martinez. These two battled for the championship during the regular season. 18 with a good run down into turn 3. He's going to clear the 77 and hang on to that 3rd position. But good racing. Everybody's starting to get more single filed out, but Dylan Parker actually losing some time. He's backed up to Martinez. Now running that lower line, maybe not where he needs to be, and maybe cooked the tires a little too early, as he is about 2/10 off of the leader's pace. So Dylan Parker, after starting back in 9th, maybe losing a little bit of ground here to Jeff Wright, who now increases the lead to 1.2 seconds coming to lap number 15. And these 4 drivers nose to tail inside the top 5 and pulling away. Eric Hutton a little ways back here. He leads Connor Horn, the Coke Zero Sugar number 42 machine, who started all the way in the back in 18th position, all the way up to 7th, probably the biggest mover of the race. The 09 making a move right here. Elliott Carlson is the 49 losing some ground. They're going to go 3 wide once again. Keith Mayato down low. The 49 almost up into the wall. Able to keep it underneath him, and he's going to drop back a few positions here to 16th. Now Taylor Butcher Benjamin looks to the inside here, as these drivers all side by side just outside the top 10 here. Not sure how good that is for speed, but definitely is good for fun and good for exciting racing. Is everybody doing a fantastic job so far to stay off of each other. And things are starting to get more single file. As I say that, they go double file, and there's the contact. The 09 of Carlson goes around. Keith Mayato's in it. The 8 machine Hard contact into the wall. That's Jeremiah Vincent. And that's going to be caution number 1. Brought out here. Looks like the 09 got hooked. Let's go back and take a look at what happened. Coming down the back straightaway here. Yeah, Jeremiah Vincent and the 09. Bit of contact. We're going to go to more overhead camera view here. See if we can tell who made the move. The 8 with a huge run coming out of turn number 2. He looked down low. And the 09 came off the wall. 8 just moved up a tiny bit, but really just kind of came together. And the 36 of Keith Maiato, absolutely nowhere to go. And he is going to suffer a lot of damage. All of those drivers suffering quite a bit. They made heavy contact, but Keith Maiato, I think, probably receiving the worst end there. And no fault of his own. Just bad placing, or bad timing, as the 8 slammed that wall, losing the front end. And look at the 70 of Lyle Sulfridge making his way through. Let's take a look. So those cars, oh, he got tapped from behind, able to hang on to it and avoid Keith Maiato. Tapped by the 71. Lane Sulfridge got into him. So teammates, relatives making contact there. As the field making their way off pit lane. Alec Martinez gonna try and win that battle off. He will beat Jeff Wright out of the pit lane. Take that top spot away. So we are going to cut to commercial break here. Working under caution number 1, halfway through stage number 1. We will be right back. Yes, we are back to the track. Apologize for the audio problems there. I'm not sure why those commercials didn't have any audio, but started to run our Drops commercial there, and Drops, a new affiliate here with V-Speed. You can check them out at the link in the chat we just put up there. Drops is an environmentally friendly laundry pod alternative that uses fewer and safer ingredients, and you can use our link in the description to help support V-Speed. Looks like an awesome product. Helps clean your clothes, and they ship it straight to your door for free. And proud to be an affiliate with them. So check them out, and we'll have the audio working on those commercials here in a bit. But looks like Pace Truck lights are off, and we did get report that the 77 machine of Adam Cabot with a problem. Looks like he actually got a penalty under that pit stop, and he drops all the way back to the 18th position now for this restart, and struggles in the early portions of these races on pit road for Cabot, these last couple races here, and he's going to try and recover, maybe earn some stage points if he can get back up inside the top 10. As you see, they slap the nose back on the 8 machine. Keith Mayato still out there running as well. And Ryan Gemmel looks like he is the recipient of the lucky dog, so he'll be back on the lead lap. As the field working through 3 and 4, headed back towards the restart zone. It's going to be Martinez and Jeff Wright on the front row. Martinez with control. He elects to take the inside lane. We'll see how these guys get going here. As the field works their way out of turn number 4. Truck hits pit lane. And green flag back in the air. The field back underway here. Stage number 1. Martinez able to get a nice jump out in front of Jeff Wright, who's going to fall all the way to 3rd here, in danger of losing that to Connor Horn. As they make their way around turns 1 and 2, the inside line definitely prevailing here on that first lap. Martinez blocking as Dylan Parker all over his back bumper headed into turn number 3. And Connor Horn now making that move to the outside. He's going to try and do what Dylan Parker did early on, as he goes right to the back bumper, crosses him over onto the apron underneath Alec Martinez. What a bold move. That's going to move Connor Horn to the top. 25 laps in here, just 15 to go in this stage. And Connor Horn coming from the back. He goes all the way to the front. Has not quite led a lap yet. He was just behind Martinez at the line. Now Jeff Wright able to carry that speed up high. He's going to go to 2nd. And Martinez going to hang on to 3rd for now. Connor Horn now leading his first lap of the race. As here comes Jeff Wright with a big push down the front straightaway. Goes to the inside. Slides up in front of the 42. Connor Horn not backing off, though. He goes back to the inside. They're trading, lines crossing each other over here. As now the 5 of Vincent Arthur, who we saw with the issue early on in this race, he moves back to the 3rd position, passing up Alec Martinez. And what a battle among these top 5 drivers after this restart. And now Connor Horn and Jeff Wright still side by side. That's going to allow the 5 to slide into this battle as he goes to the outside of Connor Horn. Unable to complete the pass just yet, but a big run out of turn 2. Trying to track down the 48 into turn number 3. And yes, sir, the 77 showing off his magic tricks as he went poof, and he went all the way to the back. But starting to make up some ground. He has gained 4 spots since the restart. And looking to gain another one here over Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Unable to complete that pass just yet. As everybody fighting for those stage points. Now the battle for the lead is on. The 48 up high. And here comes the 5 of Vincent Arthur looking to the inside. Not able to get position on him. Right on the back bumper, though. Down the front straightaway. Just over 10 to go in this stage. Out of turn number 2, it continues to be Jeff Wright leading the way. They've gone mostly single file. Except Dylan Parker trapped down on the inside of Bailey Turner. Just inside the top 10. And Chris Simard closing in on that battle. The V-Speed machine. Chris started in the top 5, but he fell back early on and now trying to recover here. As Dylan Parker, a bit of a bump going down into turn 1. You see him drift up the track. That cost him a lot of momentum as now Chris Simard peeks to the outside. Gonna try and steal that stage point away if he can, but Parker with a good run into turn 3, able to hang on to it. Cabot trying to charge his way back through the field into 13th right now on the back bumper of Garrett Keat, last week's winner, who was able to steal it away between turn 4 and the start-finish line. As he is able to hold off the 77 for the moment. Now in front, Jeff Wright not streaking away like he did last time. The 5 still in striking distance, just about 2 or 3 car lengths back, and Connor Horn under attack from Alec Martinez. Connor comes in your points leader with the biggest advantage from his 4 wins and stage wins. But he was very close to the cut line last week after missing quite a few races this season. He's fighting for this 3rd position here in stage number 1. And Yusuf Gali, the 54, able to close in while they're battling side by side. And who does he go with here to try and complete a pass? Yes, sir, Blazer Pete, the 48 paint scheme. One of my personal favorites as well. Adapted to this Camaro. Looks fantastic. Also makes a great die cast, if I do say so myself. In second place, though, Vincent Arthur trying to catch up with that star-covered race car of Jeff Wright, and able to hang with him, but not able to close that 2 or 3 car length gap, as Connor Horn now making the outside work again, carrying a ton of speed out of turn number 2. Peaks out of line at the last second, but nowhere to take that momentum, as he will just drop into 3rd. And under fire from Alec Martinez once again, as Alec actually jumps to the outside, trying to get to the outside of Connor, but nowhere to go as the 42 blocks that run. Side by side, the 54, the 18, almost contact, able to stay off of each other, but 54 had to get way out of it as he gets passed up by AJ Stravato and Eric Hutton. Stravato here looking on the top 4, seeing if he can find his way up there and challenge possibly for a stage win. The Venom number 33, who ran so well last week at Daytona, was actually in position to potentially win that race in the closing laps, but mistakes were made in the tri-oval, and he was not able to capture that victory. Jeff right now sees the battle going on behind him, loving what he's seeing as Connor Horn takes 2nd away. The 5 of Arthur losing some ground now, as Alec Martinez takes 3rd back away. Vincent Arthur definitely losing some ground, as here comes Stravato peeking to the inside out of turn number 2. And he'll be all over the back bumper down into turn number 3. As they are pretty stacked up through that corner. Everybody looking for some clean air, some clean running room, but no one can find it except for Jeff Wright, who has led 29 out of the 37 laps that have been completed. Doing a fantastic job at managing this race, and after starting on the front row, definitely has winning speed. And looking for that stage win, that playoff point, it's going to be so valuable to him, along with the bonus points. And only the top 5 do receive bonus points in the stages. So right now, the 54 hanging on to that spot, but Stravato trying to slide into that position, looking to the outside, nowhere to go as the 54 shuts him off. But they are nose to tail. It's going to be one more time around. Jeff Wright losing some ground. Here comes Connor Horn, just 2/10 behind. He's closed the gap up quite a bit, and Alec Martinez also trying to find his way to the front as Connor Horn now 1 car length. It is the final lap of stage 1 here. The only stage of the race, except for the finish. And Connor Horn, that 1 car length back. Is he going to make a move? He's going to have to try at least. Looks down to the low side, but the 48 is there. So nowhere to go with the run. And it looks like Jeff Wright is going to make it to the line and capture the stage victory. So 48 coming across the line. Great job by Jeff Wright. As caution comes out, here are your stage results. Jeff Wright with the playoff point, 5 bonus points. Second place, Connor Horn, 4 bonus points. Alec Martinez, 3 points. And Vincent Arthur with 2 points. And Yusuf Gali capturing that last bonus point in the 5th position. So good job by all of those drivers to capture points and capitalize here in the first race of the playoffs. Jeff Wright, absolutely dominant so far, doing everything right, as his name would suggest. But it has been fun to watch so far. Lots of action and clean action. Adam Cabot only able to move up to the 13th position during that stint, so only gaining 5 spots. Not quite the magic that we thought he might have, but maybe he'll make some kind of a decision here on pit lane and gain some of that track position back. But it remains to be seen if he can get back towards the front. And I'm sure the whole field probably going to come down the pit lane here. And perhaps we can get an interview in with someone just a bit after the pit stops. The field working their way down the pit lane. The leaders working all the way down here. We see Alec Martinez and Jeff Wright pulling into their stalls. We'll see who's able to get off the pit lane quickest here, and being towards the front on this restart is going to be key. And I think we're going to see quite a bit of green flag racing here, as it's going to be very close. 48 not able to put the grip down. Connor Horn wins the battle off pit lane. Taylor Butcher Benjamin staying on the racetrack. I'm not sure what that's all about, but he leads a lap at least. Not sure that's just for a bonus point or what the play is there, but he's probably going to have to bring it down with 23 lap old tires. He's going to be a sitting duck if he tries to stay out here. But maybe he knows something that we don't. And here he comes down the pit lane. Connor Horn will resume the top spot. He has done a fantastic job here tonight, coming from the back to the front. See if we can get a word in with him, or possibly stage winner there, Jeff Wright. See if we can bring him up into the booth. Doesn't look like we're able to grab those guys and pull them in here, so we'll have to get that working in the next couple races here. But Connor Horn is going to be your leader. We want to thank our other sponsors here tonight, and let's hear a quick word from Below the Double Yellow. V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to be broadcasting the Below the Double Yellow 2020 Cup Series, starting July 30th, Thursdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time. We also want to let you know you can get your own V-Speed merch. If you head on over to vspeedsim.com/shop, the first 25 to use code VRL5 will save $5 on your purchase of $10 or more. So head on over there, support the stream, the iRacing community, and support the league here by making the purchase of V-Speed merch. We got some great t-shirts and hats, very comfortable hoodies, and if you enjoy the broadcast, consider supporting us in that way. Also consider following or subscribing and checking us out at all our other social media outlets at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All going to be under V-Speed Sim. YouTube, we've got V-Speed Media with the race replays. You can check out last race at Daytona over there on our channel. So we'd appreciate your support on those platforms. We want to thank you once again for tuning in here tonight and watching the race. Hopefully you guys are enjoying so far. It's been an exciting one. Connor Horn going to show the field around here one more time, and I think we'll get the lights off on the pace truck next time by. If you are enjoying the broadcast, once again, consider subscribing. You can actually use your Amazon Prime account if you've got it, link it to Twitch, and you can use your free Prime subscription right here on V-Speed, and that'll help support us and help continue to bring you great racing content. We've got another league coming up here in just a couple weeks on Thursday nights, so you'll get a couple nights of racing action back-to-back right here on V-Speed between the Virtual Racing League and the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. Really looking forward to the racing action from those guys. Really enjoyed their podcast, and got some exciting news. I'm not sure I'm allowed to share it or not, but they have some exciting news about their podcast series coming up here soon. So check those guys out as well. It's Below the Double Yellow Podcast. That's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. A lot of racing news, just interesting opinions and viewpoints on what we're seeing on track, along with the way the drivers are performing out there. As it looks like we do have the lights off here, and coming to the restart zone once again. The pace truck rolls on the pit lane. Connor Horn, Vince Arthur going to be on the front row. Connor Horn gets him going. Green flag in the air. The Coca-Cola Zero Sugar number 42 machine. A nice restart there as the 5 getting a push from the 48. Alec Martinez looks to the inside, trying to take away that second position. But a great restart by Connor, showing that 4-win speed. As Alec Martinez, regular season champion, right behind him. Oh, big wiggle there by Jeff Wright. He's going to lose a bit of momentum. Here comes Stravato to the outside, unable to make it work just yet. But the 5 now peaks down to the inside. Alec Martinez going to try and hang on. He's going to drop to third. As Chase Elliott wins the Real World All-Star race. Connor Horn here hanging on to the top spot. Congratulations to Chase Elliott for holding off Kyle Busch there at Bristol. And he will take home that All-Star win. That's going to be a fan favorite for sure. As now the 5 of Vincent Arthur looks to the inside of Connor Horn. Vincent trying to come back from that mistake he made early. And he takes the top spot away. Connor nowhere, no charge to try and take that back just yet. Here comes Martinez looking to the inside for second place. Jeff Wright now finds himself in fourth position after that wiggle early on in this run. He's going to try and make the pass on Connor Horn. Looks like he will. Let's take a look a little farther back. Last week's winner, Garrett Keat, in the number 12 car, racing it up side by side with Chris Samard, the V-Speed 37. Behind them, Elliott Butler, the 6 machine, in front of this pack of about 5 or 6 cars. Looks like we've got Eric Hutton, Ryan Gemmel, who made it back on the lead lap there to the outside of the 88. The 9 machine of Dylan Parker right behind all of them. And Dylan, we saw a lot of speed early on in this race, but he has lost his track position. Now finds himself in the 13th position. As we see farther back, the drivers with the damage from that earlier wreck, Keith Mayato, Jeremiah Vincent, really struggling for speed here. Everybody's still in this race, however. No one has taken it behind the wall. We saw the 09 also involved in that. That was Elliot Carlson. Looks like they've gotten most of the damage repaired on that machine. And side by side up there, looks like the 88 not able to stay beside Gemmel. He will lose that spot, now in danger of losing a position to Dylan Parker, who gets all over the back bumper of Gemmel. They're going to take it down to the apron. And it looks like Ryan either got a little bit loose and had to check up for the 6. But good racing action back here as Elliott Butler trying to find his way around Bailey Turner and unable to do so. Big slide there by the 1 machine. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he goes to the inside of Elliot Carlson. And Adam Cabot back here at 15th. Not able to get that track position back, as he ran inside the top 5 for a good portion of this race. Has been unable to climb back up in there. And VRL does award points for the leader at halfway, and these two battling it out to have that. Just a few laps here until we get to halfway. The field a bit more spread out than we've seen in the previous runs. The top 2 out in front by about a half second over Alec Martinez, who's under pressure from Connor Horn, and then it's about another half second back to Yusuf Ghali at 54 machine. Starting to reel those guys in, actually. Chris Samard has made his way past Stravato and up into the 6th position. So Chris showing some speed here as this race progresses, moving towards the front. Stravato taking that spot away from Keat. Now Elliott Butler under attack from Ryan Gemmel inside the top 10. Yes, sir. Halfway lap is number 63. So Jeff Wright hanging on, actually taking that top spot away from Vincent Arthur. So the 48 back out front. Started in second. He's led 34 of 56 laps here. And takes away the top spot once again, as those two have really pulled away from Alec Martinez and Connor Horn, working together. Just a quick recap, just the 2 cautions here, 1 for an accident, 1 for the stage. We've had 8 lead changes, so it's been very competitive so far here in the early going of this race. But Jeff Wright really has been the dominant driver, leading over half the laps run so far. Track temps looking about the same, just up 1 degree from when we started, so no difference there. And as it's night, I don't expect it to change at all as this race progresses. These top two absolutely driving away as Connor Horn now trying to take third spot from Alec Martinez, who pinches him down into that low line. Chris Samard trying to find a way past them. He's caught right up to the back bumper of Martinez. And he's running that third groove up there. We'll see if he can carry some speed. But it looks like he's actually going to lose a bit of ground that time through 3 and 4. Fighting side by side with the 54 machine. So halfway lap here, just 3 laps away, and Jeff Wright, who won the stage, looking for more points on top of that. He's looking for most laps led. He's looking for everything he can get here to set himself apart in round number 1 of the playoffs. And once again, we'll bring up the points coming into tonight's race. Connor Horn was your points leader. He's running in the 4th position right now. Alec Martinez running in the 3rd position, came in 2nd in points. Jeff Wright, who has captured the most points so far, he's 6th coming into this race and looking to move up the ladder there with a good run here tonight. He's doing everything he needs to do so far in this event. Next time by is going to be the halfway lap. He is leading. Vincent Arthur unable to close the gap back down. It's still about 3 car lengths. Working down the back straightaway. Down into turns 3 and 4. Halfway lap coming up. Looks like Wright is going to capture that bonus point. Vincent Arthur staying right there in his tracks. Martinez actually closing the gap once again. It was almost 2 seconds a few laps ago, and now down to under 1 second. So obviously they've been saving their tires and closing that gap back up. The top 2 burning them up a little bit too soon. So we still have half this race to go. It's been very clean and very fun to watch. Take a look a little farther back. Adam Cabot now moving up to 12th. He looks like he's going to try and make a pass here on Eric Hutton. As they go down into turn number 1. Nose to tail, the 77 looks a little low. We get right to that back bumper. And now he makes the move down the back straightaway. 88's not just going to give it to him, though. These guys racing for points in the playoffs, both of them racing for points here. As he is alongside down the front straightaway, making progress on that pass, but unable to complete it just yet. Now down into turn number 1, gets a great run through there. 88 going to try and keep it wound up, and he is going to not be able to get there, but almost looked like he was going to cross him over. It's just going to push him instead. So up here inside the top 10, Dylan Parker, Elliott Butler, AJ Stravato racing it up here, 8th, 9th, 10th positions. See if Cabot can start to reel these guys in. He's up to 11th, making some magic happen here in this run, finally trying to climb back towards the front. As at the front, 2nd place under fire, Alec Martinez is there, and he's going to have a run down the front straightaway, right to the back bumper of the 5 machine. Peaks to the high side, 5 shuts the door, and he has brought Connor Horn, Yusuf Ghali along with him, so top 5 all under a blanket here, 7/10 separating them. Just about a half second back to Garrett Keat, and then about a half second back to Chris Samard, who's in that 7th position now in front of AJ Stravato. Starting to hold these guys up, I think. Chris might have used the goodie off those tires a little too soon as well, suffering the same fate as the leaders. Martinez now looking to the inside, trying to complete this pass. Getting a little bit tight coming out of turn 2, unable to complete it. That might cost him here if he can't stay alongside. Big run down into turn 3. Keeping it alongside, starting to come up the racetrack. It's still out there. Here comes Connor Horn trying to make it 3 wide. To the inside goes Connor Horn. Just touching the grass right there as he goes really low into the corner. The 5 going to back out of it. Connor really drove it in deep. Here comes Martinez looking back to the inside. Jeff Wright loving this, knowing that he could get caught by these guys who have saved their tires, but they are racing it up. Connor Horn all over the back bumper. Wow, he slips it right in between the 18 and the 54 and able to get underneath Martinez. As Galley now going to come underneath him. Looking to the inside here in turns 1 and 2. Very close racing as the 18 of Martinez pinches him down. Galley going to jump up there. Oh, the 5 big slide. He looks low. Going to get back in line. They say the Magic Man's coming for the top 10. Looks like he's in 11th. Right now on the back bumper of Butler. And he is there now to the inside. Going into turn number 1. Looks like Butler's not even really going to challenge him. I think Cabot's going to take this one pretty easily. He has saved his stuff pretty well early on in this run. Although now about 30 laps into this run. 28 laps on these tires, including the pace laps. Stravado makes the move on Chris Samard, able to complete that pass nearly. Here comes Dylan Parker, going to give him a shove. Almost contact there. That was a close call. Once again, fantastic racing here mid-pack. Stravado, Samard, Parker. That is 7th, 8th, and 9th. Samard. Oh, contact there. Can he hang on to it? Big slide up the track. Parker got into him. Samard able to hang on to it, but his tires are not going to love that. As now Dylan Parker looks to the inside of Stravado. What a run, even with the contact. Maybe Stravado saw what happened in his mirror, and he's like, I don't want a piece of that. I'm not really sure. The 33 does have some damage. Samard looks like he caught the wall there, so that's going to hurt big time. So 37 now falls to 12th position after running up right near the top 5 for quite a few laps. He's going to have to get that damage repaired under green if possible. And Connor Horn hanging on to 2nd. Right here in front of Martinez and Gali, who have been trading these laps back and forth. At 54 with the slide job up the track, gets a big bump. Not sure Martinez too happy about that. They dive down into turn 3. These guys are running 70% fuel, so I would think they'd be able to go about 40 laps on a set of tires and fuel. And right now, 32 laps on these tires, including the pace laps, like I mentioned. So they're going to be closing in on the fuel window in just a few laps. And Jeff Wright, he's been able to hang on to this top spot as everybody battled behind him. They were reeling him in, but definitely saved by that battling. Doing a good job here, leading a lot of laps tonight. Now up to 53. And it's going to be tough for anybody to take that away from him. So we got a battle back here. Looks like the 6 machine of Elliott Butler to the inside of Stravado. As Cabot moving up into the 8th position. Oh, the 33 maybe getting a bump there from Stravado, or from Butler. Cabot now definitely recovering. Not quite one of the fastest cars on track just yet, but I think it's because he was making some passes there. We'll see if he can catch up to Dylan Parker and the rest of those guys towards the front. Jeff Wright leading by just over a half second. Connor Horn in the second position. Yusuf Gali in the third spot. Alec Martinez fourth. Garrett Keat in the fifth position. Vincent Arthur sixth. Dylan Parker seventh. Cabot is eighth. Travato ninth. And Eric Hutton rounds out the top 10, but he actually completes that pass on Elliott Butler to solidify that 10th spot. And once again, if you're enjoying the racing and you haven't yet, please consider following or subscribing. It goes a long way to helping us maintain this channel and bringing more great racing action, as we see Ryan Gemmel a little ways back, struggling here in the 14th position. Not sure what the call is. It doesn't look like he has any damage, but maybe gonna make an early stop here as he brings it down towards the pit lane. Actually, really hot onto the pit lane, locks it down. It's the 16 machine of Ryan Gemmel coming into his box, stops perfectly on the marks. We'll have to see what the pit strategy is here, as it looks like Jeff Wright also bringing it down the pit lane. I didn't even notice that he was here. Samard on the pit lane as well just a couple laps ago. So he's trying to gain a little bit of that time back that he lost by receiving that damage. But currently showing last place, now overtaking Ryan Gemmel, and Wright just coming out of turn number 2 back onto the racetrack. You can see Samard not too far behind him, so that definitely helped Chris, at least in the meantime. Connor Horn hangs on to that top spot. And Yusuf Gali in second. Looks like Martinez has dropped a bit. Keeping an eye on anybody else on the pit lane. Looks like Elliott Butler is bringing it down. So he brings it in from just outside the top 10. The Asus number 6 Chevy Camaro. Everybody else choosing to stay out on the track, but the battle for the lead starting to heat up as Connor Horn under pressure from Yusuf Gali at 54. Has arrived, the TRD Toyota Camry. He's trying to get some laps led here. I'm not sure he's even taken that top spot at any point in this race after starting in 4th. But you know he wants to lead a lap and try and get that bonus point. And the last thing a lot of these drivers who have already pitted want is a caution, but I think everybody else, you know, might like that. It increases their chances of not making a mistake coming to the pit lane. But everybody remaining out there except for those bottom 4: Elliott Butler, Ryan Gemmel, Chris Samard, Jeff Wright. The only drivers to make a pit stop so far. Jeff Wright currently in the 18th position. He's got that tire advantage, and he is flying around here. Running over 2.5 seconds faster than the rest of the field. Trying to get back to the lead lap. He goes by Adam Cabot, who's the 6th place driver, taking that away from Dylan Parker. So the 77, a good recovery here after the pit road mistake. Got to keep an eye on that 48, as we did have a couple other drivers come down. That's Lyle and Lane Sulfridge, both exiting at the same time as well. Working that team strategy, currently 20th and 21st, but definitely on the shorter end of the pit cycle. A few drivers coming down: Alec Martinez, Dylan Parker, and AJ Stravato. Elliot Carlson also bringing it down here. But Connor Horn remains on the track. Yusuf Gali bringing it down from the 2nd position. So we'll see what this does for him. I have a feeling that it's probably going to be Jeff Wright well out in front, but the short pit It's an interesting call because the tire wear definitely matters quite a bit in this at this track. So we'll see if it works out for him on the long run. But I would think if you were one of the last cars to pit, you've lost time on the front end, but you should be able to make it up. Depending on how much farther you go. Connor Horn remains on the racetrack, losing all that time to Jeff Wright. And Wright is actually back on the lead lap. He's driven away from Connor Horn by over 3 seconds. Actually, even more than that. He's up into the 8th position on fresh tires. Chris Simard in 9th, trying to get back to the lead lap as well. Here comes the leaders, Garrett Keat, Connor Horn. They're going to bring it down. Here comes the 5 of Vincent Arthur. Adam Cabot comes in. So that should be pretty much the rest of the field. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, however, is still out there. He leads another lap here. And that's going to be the last car on the track as everybody's trying to work around him. You can see just how much slower he is. But Taylor pretty good with strategy from my experience racing against him. So he may know what he's doing here. We'll have to see if it works out. So he now takes it down the pit lane. Jeff Wright in line to take up that lead once again. And Chris Simard going to show as second, I believe. And Ryan Gembel's going to be right there behind him. But they pitted much earlier than many of these other drivers. So Simard going to jump to the 2nd position now. Here goes Ryan Gemmel along with him. So short pitting there. Simard on the oldest tires of anyone on track. He's got 13 laps on that set already. Jeff Wright back to the point though, and he's got 7.2 second lead over Simard, even though he pitted after him. And right now in front of the 09 of Elliott Carlson, who's the first car 1 lap down. Going to try and get back on that lead lap here. He goes right to the back bumper. Try and work that draft down through 3 and 4. Carlson does have damage from that early incident in this race, so he may not have the speed to actually make the pass. He's going to try and do it nonetheless down to the inside here in turns 1 and 2. Looks like 48 just going to let him go. It's the 09 big wiggle down low, able to slide up in front. And now Ryan Gemmel to 2nd position. He leapfrogs his teammate Chris Simard. Pitted a few laps after him, actually on the same lap as Jeff Wright. So those two on the same strategy, just separated by 7.5 seconds. Alec Martinez is closing in on Simard. You can see the gap here. That's Simard right in front of him. And Alec able to stay in that throttle for almost the entire corner. Simard losing a lot of time. Nearly a 10-lap difference on the tires. And it's showing right there. Martinez really lapping at a very fast pace here. About 7/10 faster than the top 2. And with a little over 30 to go, that would definitely be enough. But they will start to equalize. Here goes Martinez actually to the outside of Gemmel. This is for 2nd place. So Gemmel maybe hoping for a caution here so he can hang on to this track position, but he's going to start to go backwards quickly along with Simard. And Galli a little bit farther back here. He rides behind Dylan Parker, 5th and 6th positions. And the 42 of Connor Horn right there in the 7th position. After leading during that pit cycle, he pitted a bit later than most of the other drivers. So he's got fresher tires, but he's going to have a lot of ground to make up. going by the 54 now. That will be for the 6th position. Set the sights on Parker, who has about 3 lap older tires. Let's take a look at Adam Cabot. Finds himself 17 seconds back. Not exactly sure what happened, but he is well behind the drivers who are set to inherit the lead if they can catch up to Jeff Wright. That gap now just 6 seconds between 1st and 2nd place. You can't even see Martinez, but he is there now coming out of turn number 2. That gap now 5.5 seconds. 6 lap difference on the tires between Wright and Martinez. And then Connor Horn with 9 lap fresher tires, and then Jeff Wright. Currently the fastest driver on the track is Connor Horn, running a 30.6 during that last lap. Next fastest car looks like it was probably Adam Cabot, or actually rather it was Mitchell Adams with a 30.7. Cabot was 3rd fastest that time by. So Connor Horn going to move to 3rd here as he passes up Ryan Gemmel. And either way, I think this will work out pretty well for Gemmel. He was well back in the field, and the short pit has brought him up inside the top 5, so can at least try and make him competitive here in terms of finishing position. Here goes Galley to the inside, 54. No contest there. Much fresher tires between those two. And then next in line is going to be Dylan Parker. So Ryan's actually going to lose a few spots here pretty quickly, and then he's got a few drivers pretty far back that still have quite a bit of time to make up on him. But that gap for the lead now just 3 seconds. Alec Martinez working through a little bit of lap traffic. That's the Selfridges. In front of them, you can see Jeff Wright losing about 0.8 a lap to Martinez, as this whole stage has gone green from lap about 45 to now lap 101. And Alec Martinez playing this strategy fantastically here, your regular season champion, trying to take down the 48, who's been so dominant in this race, but the strategy call to pit early for that car might be his undoing. 2.4 seconds the gap between them. It looked like Alec almost caught the wall there. Very, very close. We can't count out Connor Horn, who's not too far back from him. Just about 3 seconds. Connor running about 0.4 faster than Alex, so give him about 8-9 laps, and he will be there at that pace. And I think they'll both be right at the back bumper of the 48 in that time. So 0.4 faster for Martinez than Wright that time by, and this time by Connor Horn about 0.6 faster than Martinez. That gap now down to 2.3 seconds between 2nd and 3rd. So this has been quite a strategy race here in the closing segment. Connor Horn stayed out longer than just about everybody else, except for Taylor Butcher Benjamin, who finds himself second to last on the lead lap. So Connor really the only one in shouting distance to have pitted that late. So he works past the Selfridges as well. The gap to Alec Martinez just 1.8 seconds, and the gap to the leader 3.4. And Alec Martinez, that gap to Jeff Wright now just 1.5 seconds. He's cut it down from over 9 seconds. He's absolutely flying out here on the racetrack. And that's the difference right there. So who is going to get it done here, folks? Once again, cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know who you think is going to come away with the victory. Just over 20 to go, coming to 20 to go this time. And the top three starting to reel each other in. I think they're really going to be your top contenders here. Jeff Wright out in front by 1.1 seconds. The lap time starting to get closer between Connor Horn and Alec Martinez. Connor has definitely closed that gap quite a bit, though. It was 3 seconds just a few laps ago, and he's at 1.5 to Alec Martinez. But you can see the leaders not far in front of him, and this huge gaggle of cars back here. Garrett Keat, Yusuf Gali, Vincent Arthur, among others. The Sulfridges and Dylan Parker's in the mix there. The gap up front, just 0.6 of a second. Alec Martinez closing in. Connor Horn just 1.5 seconds back still. The question is, has Jeff been saving this whole time? Does he have anything left in the tank to try and hold off Alec here with under 20 to go? I think once Alec gets there, it's going to be pretty much a done deal, but see how these lap times equalize just a little bit here. That time just 1.5 tenths faster for Alec. But even still, he'll get there in about 3 laps. And Connor Horn, that gap now just 1.2 to Martinez. Garrett Keat is starting to close in on all those guys, along with Vincent Arthur, Yusuf Gali. Perhaps they've been saving. 4 seconds back, it's not an impossible task to try and get up there. Here comes Alec. 0.2 of a second. Big run out of turn number 2. He's going to close that up. He's going to be right on the back bumper going into turn number 3. Martinez is there. Connor Horn not far behind. Jeff Wright throwing a little bit of a block here in 3 and 4. I think Martinez can be patient, though, knowing he's got the tires, and he goes to the inside. Battle for the lead. 16 to go at the line, and Martinez going to lead it there at the line. Jeff Wright going to try and stay with him as much as possible, but I think the strategy call to pit early just not going to work in his favor. But he hangs tough on the back bumper, still in his tire tracks. And all he can really do is try and slow down the 18 if he can. And Connor Horn is hoping that he can do that as well, just 0.5 second behind those two. But with Alec Martinez out in clean air in the lead, can Connor Horn chase those two down? 15 to go now. And that's pretty amazing. Jeff Wright hanging tough with him. The top 3 now separated by under 0.5 second. Three different strategies. They all pitted on different laps. Connor Horn with the freshest tires. He's under 0.5 second behind Martinez. He's going to have to work his way past Jeff Wright, though. And is he going to have the tire to pass Martinez? Jeff Wright a little tight coming out of turn 2. Connor Horn is there. He looks to the inside for second place. Dives down in turn 3. It looks like he's going to take that spot away and try and track down your leader. Just around 0.4 the gap between those two. Under 0.4 actually. It's about 3.5 at the line. And Connor Horn is there. He's going to try and pull Jeff Wright along with him, or Jeff, rather, is going to try and stay with the 42. Big run out of turn number 2. Garrett Keat also just 2.7 seconds back, so that pack of cars is closing in. I think they're going to run out of time, but Connor Horn on the same strategy. He's got a nice distance on them, and if he can get by the 18, I know Alec's not going to give it up here, but if he can get out in front, I think it's a done deal. That being said, anything can happen here as we're coming close to 10 to go. Connor Horn is there right on the back bumper of Alec Martinez, and we know how hard it is to pass this late in a run. 25 laps on the tires for Connor Horn. But we've seen him make some aggressive moves. Now looks to the inside. Alec Martinez going to hang tough up high, side by side into turn one. Almost contact as Connor Horn getting pinched down by Martinez. They can't pinch too hard, though. This could end in disaster for both of them. 5 race wins among these two during the regular season. Alec Martinez defending brilliantly here. Coming to 10 to go. Connor Horn down on the inside, still there along the quarter panel. He's trying to use that side draft, trying to force the 18 up the track and then cut low here. Looks like he's going to dive bomb. Going to pull the slide job. Alec Martinez, though, is he going to lift for him? Gets right to the bumper, shoves him out of the corner. And Alec's going to look low here going into turn number 3. Right alongside. Through 3 and 4, Martinez unable to keep it down there. Connor Horn taking the top spot away. Jeff Wright in danger of losing spots, though. Garrett Keat just 1.7 seconds or 1.9 seconds back of the leaders, just about a second behind him. But Connor Horn, what a drive. Started so far back in this race, making the pass of the race, I think. With under 10 to go, he gets by Alec Martinez. Looking to capture his 5th victory of the year. And still a little ways to go. Martinez going to need to try and save a little something here to reel him back in, but it is going to be difficult. 3-lap difference on their tires. Horn with the advantage. That being said, we saw something kind of like this in the Cup Series last year between Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson at Chicago there, where Bowman actually got past and was able to reel back in the 42 and ended up winning that race. Looks like Alec Martinez found a little something here. He's still within 0.3 of a second. And it is not over yet. I thought it was going to be a done deal for sure. Garrett Keat really closing in here, actually. He's trying to make that pass. He's trying to become a two-time winner here. Back-to-back. Actually, I think this would be 3 in a row for Garrett. So he has some serious momentum on his side now. 1.5 seconds behind your top 2. Martinez still trying to hang on here, just over 5 laps to go. And he's got to do everything in his power to try and stay with the 42 and try and challenge him. He sees that 12 coming in his mirror as well. And that was a heck of a battle. Connor Horn, though, once again started 18th. He finished 2nd in the stage. He's led 22 laps here, which I believe is second most to Jeff Wright. Jeff just not playing the strategy correctly. It's going to probably cost him this win. That being said, it's still not over, and anything can happen. Battles going on throughout the field here in the top 10. This is 9th, 10th, and 11th, all within striking distance of each other. We've also got battles here. Vincent Arthur, Jeff Wright. Arthur going to take that spot away. Much fresher tires than Jeff Wright. And actually, just as fresh as Garrett Keat and Connor Horn, who I think nailed this strategy. They've got 1st, 3rd, and 4th all pitting on the same lap. So perfect timing on that. It appears, it looks like Jeff Wright with an issue, bringing it down the pit lane. Maybe he can't make it on fuel. What a disaster for Jeff Wright, who saw himself in the lead just about 10 laps ago. Yeah, I only say done deal because I think Connor with the fresher tires Actually made up more time than Alec. But that being said, Alec is running very quickly. And look at that. Ryan Gemmel, who was in second, has fallen all the way back to the 15th position, almost a lap down right now. So pitting really early obviously didn't help him very much. Chris Simard is 1 lap down. And I don't think Gemmel's really going to play a part here, but might get a little in the way of the 18 machine. But white flag in the air. You see Jeff Wright just coming off the pit lane. He's going to be 2 laps down. Scored in last place right now. What a disaster for the 48 who was just leading. But Connor Horn playing the strategy game just right and had the speed all night. He's got the advantage through 3 and 4. Alec Martinez not close enough. Connor Horn going to win race number 1 of the playoffs at Las Vegas. So Connor Horn started 18th, leads 27 laps. One of the fastest laps of the race. I think 3rd fastest lap of the race. And he comes home your winner here, playing that strategy game just right, adding to his win collection this year. That's his 5th on the season, so congratulations to Connor. We'll try and catch his burnout here if he decides to do one on the front stretch. He had a great run going last week. He won the stage at Daytona, was in the battle for the win with a few to go, and ultimately got caught up in a wreck and was unable to capture that win. But he redeems himself this week at Las Vegas, coming up clutch, adding to his gap in the points, and he's going to be looking real good to advance to round number 2. So congratulations to Connor Horn once again on the victory. We're going to cut to a commercial break, and we will be right back. V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to be broadcasting the Below the Double Yellow 2020 Cup Series, starting July 30th, Thursdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And we are back at the track now. We're going to be bringing up our race winner, Mr. Connor Horn. Connor Horn, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4.
Well, Connor, you ran a heck of a race here today. You started all the way at the back. You came up just short of winning the stage, but you were in contention the entire race. You pulled the strategy game just right there at the end and came away with the win. Give us a rundown of how things went from your side and how excited you are.
That's a pretty big win to start the chase, that's for sure. Started in the back. I was trying to get like decals on my car, so I didn't have time to qualify. Because I started in the back, I was just trying to avoid the wreck that I anticipated would happen. I don't think any big wrecks happened, but regardless, I got through whatever mess that was in the midfield, and I knew it wasn't really a long run to the stage end after that one caution happened, so I was just trying to get the Jeff. He was really good for most of the run. I couldn't really get to him for the stage win. I had to deal with the 18 and the 54 a little bit too, so that was unfortunate, but I still got good points out of that. And then I was just trying to also get the Jeff on that second to last run, but couldn't really pass. Again, dealing with we were all battling for second there. The 5 starting to drop back a little bit. We kind of came up on them all at once. So that was almost a big wreck with all 3 or 4 of us, however many were there. Then I knew when Jeff pit, I didn't think he was going to make it. And I didn't really know how the fuel was. I thought the fuel was really close, so I stretched it as far as I could, along with I think the 12 did as well. So that gave me the best tires to the end. I was able to chase down Jeff. Alec got by him before I could really get there, but I think my tires were still good enough that I had the advantage. It was really hard because I was under him the whole time. I was trying to stay under him, and it was hard to do that. I tried to side draft a little bit down the front stretch. I had to slide up in front of him. Luckily, we both didn't wreck. It worked. He couldn't get back by me. I kind of just tried to save a little bit of tire just in case we got that final caution, and maybe I stayed out. But I was able to hold everyone off, and I was able to come back with a win.
Yeah, making the slide job to make it happen there. Very reminiscent of another move in the 42 in real life. And, it's your 5th win of the season. So obviously you've been successful. You missed a few races there in the midpoint of the season, but you start the chase off with a win here. We go to Dover next week, but pressure's off for you. So what are your thoughts on going out there?
I'm happy I don't have to deal with the tire wear at Dover and have to focus on staying up front, because I think the last time I did any race there, the right front died, so luckily I don't really have to deal with that, but it would help to save the tires a bit there. They're so crucial there. Maybe I can steal a win from some other guys that might try to lock in, but yeah, no pressure, so I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, I can imagine 5th win of the year and locking yourself into round number 2, so anybody want to give a shout out to celebrate tonight's victory?
I appreciate Alec Martinez racing me clean. We always race each other really clean. Jeff J. Wright, hate it for his guys back at the shop that he ran out of fuel, but it is what it is. Just hate it for his guys back at the shop. AJ Stravato, a good friend of mine. He races me clean. Got to shout out him. And really, that's about it. I'm just happy I got home with the dub.
Yeah, definitely a great race for you. You played it perfectly, had the speed all race, and came from the back to the front in dominating fashion. So congrats on the win. Go celebrate, and we will catch you next week.
See you soon.
All right, that was race winner Connor Horn. Fantastic race run by him, and congratulations to him once again. We're going to pull up second place Alec Martinez. We'll pull him into the booth here. Alec Martinez, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, Alec, you got by Jeff right there in the closing laps, and then you had to fight off Connor. You weren't quite able to get right back to him, but started on the pole, led 13 laps here, and come home runner-up. Tell us how you're feeling and how you feel the race went for you.
I think the race was good. I just glad we went green. Just trying everything to stay with Connor, catch him, and just it all worked out. I was trying a lot. Just never didn't have the speed. Just didn't ever have the speed to get him. Just the last run just came and get fresh tires, try to outpit him short run, or just try to have maneuver or something like that. Just try to outbeat him on strategy, and just didn't work out. But I was trying as hard as I can, trying to push away from him, and just burn my tires up. And Connor got around us, but yeah, he was fast to grow all day, so mean, it's not surprising. Connor's probably one of the best drivers I've seen on the service. So not surprising, and I was happy I could run up with him. So yeah, you know, it was great. I'm happy that all these guys had a great, you know, kept it clean. I think we only had one caution. That was for this. I think one wreck, and then one was for the stage. So I think it was pretty good. You know, we'll just go try to get them. I think we're at Dover, so
Yeah,
that'll be strong.
Yeah, definitely an exciting race. We saw a lot of side-by-side action, and you were up in the mix, up inside the top 5, I think, the entire race. So never really out of contention. And like you said, just missed a little bit on the strategy, I think, but definitely impressive that you were able to stay there with him within a few tenths once he got by you, because that definitely is tough to do. How do you feel about going to Dover next week? Do you like that track out there?
I do like this track. A little weird with this tire model, but if you can get around that, you should be fast. Connor's really good on these short tracks like that, so I expect Connor to be running up the front. Connor's probably going to be the guy who's going to want to beat. Other than that, I don't know. I hope I can run good. I hope I got good points. You know, good points today, and hopefully good points for Dover. Get us into the next round. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you came in with quite a few points. You know, coming into this race in round number 1, so this is going to help you moving on, or help you to move on to round number 2. But definitely got to still perform next week, so we'll definitely see if you can follow this second place run up there. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for the second place finish?
Yeah, just Yusuf Ghali and Dylan Parker are in the chat. They were in our Discord, I guess, team channel, and yeah, we kind of did some strategy. I kind of raced Yusuf a little bit hard, and he was way faster. I just tried to push him into a lot of these mile and a half, so got to keep it when you can. But he got around me, and we did. He was way faster, so all that, and all of them, and for you guys broadcasting, Reggie, Mark, Jeremiah, Elliot, all putting up the league. You know, hopefully we thank all the viewers for watching the race. It was hope we put on a good show for y'all. I'm gonna go eat some tacos because I'm hungry.
Sounds good. Well, you put on quite a show here, Alec. Congrats on second place once again, and we'll catch you at Dover.
Thank you, brother.
All right, that was second place finisher Alec Martinez. We're gonna pull up third place finisher, Mr. Garrett Keat here. Garrett, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Garrett, you came home P3 here tonight on the same strategy as Connor Horn. You definitely had a solid run going there the last little stint. Passed a lot of cars in the closing laps. Give us a rundown of how your race went, how you're feeling about the overall performance tonight.
I was late to win the race, so I missed the start and got saved there on that first caution that came on lap around 20 from going a lap down there. And the last 20 laps, I barely snuck into the top 10 at the stage point. Just basically rode around there. And then as soon as we came back from the stage, it went green from there on out, and just saving tires. And I was feeling good there. Me and Connor had the same pit strategy, and he pushed as soon as we came out of the pits, and I saved a little bit. And I was catching him there at the end. I still had a little bit left in my tires, but we ran out of laps, and I guess he made the right call, I guess you could say.
Yeah, just under a second to the leader there in the closing laps. And you've had a couple good races in a row, actually 3 races in a row now, I think all podiums with the 2 wins in a row. So definitely some serious momentum here, you know, at this point in the season. We head to Dover next week, so what are your thoughts on going out there?
It's gonna be interesting. I really struggle at Dover. It's not one of my good tracks. We can see how it goes, though. Hopefully I can get a little bit better at it than last few times I went there.
Yeah, and I mean, if you were on the same strategy as Connor here tonight, maybe you can pick something up from him there too. I've heard he's a pretty good short track racer, but you know, it'll be exciting to see if you can carry up this momentum. I mean, 2 wins and a third, that's an incredible run. Even though you're not in the playoffs, you're stealing points away from these guys, so that's got to be fun to do.
Yeah, it is. It's a bummer I'm not in the playoffs right now. It'd be nice to be competing with these guys for championship, but unfortunately I was just a little late joining the party, and was unable to make it on points, but it's still fun to be out here and just compete, see all these other guys go about racing for the championship.
Yeah, and you get the opportunity to play spoiler, kind of steal their glory, and try to take it for yourself. But 3 great performances in a row, 3 podiums. Anybody want to give a shout out to for tonight's 3rd place finish?
Same as last week, just my team owner, DJ Lyon. He's a great guy, and SVG and Evo SimSport.
Awesome, Garrett. Well, congrats again on the top 3. We'll catch you next week at Dover. All right, that was Garrett Keat in the 3rd position. Great run for him. 2 wins in a row and then a 3rd place. Can't complain about that performance. And he was so close, actually in the same strategy as Connor. Just came up a little bit short. Let's go to our full rundown of results and the recap of the race. Just 2 cautions here tonight, one for the stage and one for the early accident among a few drivers. 13 lead changes, so it was pretty competitive at the front of the field. But ultimately, Connor Horn comes home your winner here after starting at the tail end of the field in 18th. He comes away with the victory. Alec Martinez tried as he liked. He came home in 2nd position after starting on the pole. A great run by him nonetheless. Garrett Keat comes home P3. 4th place was Vincent Arthur. 5th place, Yusuf Gali. Also a good run for him up inside the top 5. Both of those guys, and Vincent actually recovering from an early mistake where he dropped through the field after getting loose. Dylan Parker comes home P6. Adam Cabot able to recover somewhat from that penalty on the pit lane. He comes home in 7th position. AJ Stravato comes home in P8. Eric Hutton comes home in 9th. And Bailey Turner finishes in the 10th position. In 11th, it was Mitchell Adams. 12th was Taylor Butcher Benjamin, who was one of the last drivers to pit in that cycle. Elliot Butler comes home P13. Elliot Carlson P14. Ryan Gemmel finishes 15th. The first car 1 lap down. Chris Samard finishes P16, 1 lap down. Josiah Vincent finishes 17th. Keith Mayato 18th. And then it's Lyle Sulfridge in 19th and Lane Sulfridge in 20th position. And finishing last, the driver who led the most laps, won stage number 1 and just ran out of fuel right at the end of that race. Jeff Wright really going to impact him in the points, and it'll be interesting to see if he can recover next week. But your winner here tonight was Connor Horn, and this has been a presentation of the Virtual Racing League playoffs here at Las Vegas. We want to thank you for tuning in to VSpeed. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/VSpeedSim. You can find us right here next week with the race at Dover here in the Virtual Racing League on Twitch. You can find the race replays over on YouTube at VSpeed Media. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at VSpeedSim, where we post race announcements and other interesting sim racing and real-world racing content. So check us out on all of those platforms, and please consider following, liking, subscribing if you haven't already. We want to thank you so much once again for tuning in, and we hope to catch you all next week at Dover.